If you clicked on this video, you probably have massive dreams. You want the business, the money, the freedom, the relationships, the respect. But here's the problem. You can't seem to take consistent action. You start strong on Monday, you're full of fire, and by Wednesday, you're back on the couch, scrolling through your phone with a bag of nacho cheese Doritos. Sounds familiar? By the way, I think nacho cheese Doritos are awesome, but I prefer sweet chili ones. Let me know in the comments down below which kind of Doritos you like. Jokes aside, the gap between who you are right now and who you want to be is absolutely killing you. And look, I know because I've been there. You have these big dreams playing in your head like a movie, but when it's time to actually do the work, something stops you. You tell yourself you're lazy. You beat yourself up. You wonder why you can't just be like those people who wake up at 5 a.m. and crush it every single day. I used to look at those people and think they were superhuman, or they had something that I didn't have. Of course not. But here's what nobody tells you. You're not actually lazy. You're just afraid of discomfort, and your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's protecting you from it. The problem is, ambition without execution is just daydreaming, and honestly, that's more painful than having no ambition at all. You and I would know. Because, let's face it, at least if you had no dreams, you wouldn't feel like a fucking failure every single day for not chasing them, for not giving it everything you've got. I'm going to be completely honest with you. A few years ago, I wanted to get rich so badly. That was my number one goal. I wanted to provide for my family, give them the life they actually deserved, live with actual freedom instead of just, dreaming about it, seeing people having cool vacations on Instagram. But here's what killed me. Instead of working on my business like I should have, I'd be sitting in my bed watching shitty movies I didn't even care about and eating junk food until I felt sick. I was literally numbing myself, using entertainment and food to avoid feeling the pain of not being who I wanted to be, the kind of successful man I dreamed of being. And the worst part is that every single fucking time I tried to change my life overnight, when you have those moments where you tell yourself, starting tomorrow, everything's gonna be different. I'm gonna be productive. I'm gonna get rid of my bad habits. Well, it never worked. I'd go hard for 3 days, crash, and I'd end up right back where I started. Except now, I felt even worse because I failed again. That cycle of wanting something so desperately but sabotaging yourself at every turn is the worst fucking kind of torture ever. Because deep down, you know you're doing it to yourself and you just can't seem to stop. Let me explain why this is happening to you. Your brain is literally wired to conserve energy and avoid uncertainty. That's not a character flaw. That's literally just evolution. Your ancestors survived and you are here today because they didn't waste energy on unnecessary risks. But in today's world, that same survival mechanism is keeping you broke, lonely, and stuck. So we need to do something about it. You're waiting for motivation to strike before you take action. You think one day you'll wake up and finally feel ready to start that business or create that content or reach out to that person. But let's face it, that day never comes. Because motivation doesn't create action. Action is what creates motivation. Most people have it completely backwards. And that's why they don't act, because they wait for motivation to take action. Smart people do the opposite. And here's another thing. You're confusing being productive and being busy. You spend hours researching, planning, maybe even watching YouTube videos just like this one. You're consuming content instead of creating content and taking action. You tell yourself you're preparing, but really, you're just procrastinating. The real issue is that you're looking at the massive goal, like make $1 million, build a successful business, get in perfect shape, find the love of your life, whatever it is you want, and you're completely overwhelmed because it's massive and you're nowhere near it, so you do nothing. You're so focused on the mountain that you can't see the single step right in front of you. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Look, buddy, no one is coming to save you. Your future depends entirely on what you do today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Every single day you wait is the day someone else is gaining ahead. Someone with less talent than you, less knowledge than you, fewer advantages than you, They're out there crushing you while you're still doing fucking nothing. And while they're getting ahead, they're getting rich. Why do you decide to stay here like a wuss and do nothing? Is that really what you want? Is that the kind of person you want to be? Your potential means absolutely nothing if you don't do anything with it. The world doesn't pay you for what you could do, it pays you for what you actually do. You have to understand that comfort is your enemy, not your friend. That cozy feeling of staying in bed, of not putting yourself out there, of avoiding rejection, that comfort is stealing your future from you right now. In 5 to 10 years, you could be worth multiple millions of dollars, but you won't. You know why? Because you prefer to spend all your free time playing video games and watching Netflix and eating some fucking Doritos. And then, one day you'll open up Instagram, you'll see people like me making money, enjoying their lives, staying in 4 and 5-star hotels, living in fancy villas and penthouses and places, and you'll be like, what the fuck? They just got lucky. But you didn't see those people working for 5 to 10 years while you were just messing around. And now you have a family, now you have kids, so now you can't just quit your job overnight to go follow your dreams, right? Now you're fucking stuck. And all of it is your fault. So what's the solution? How do you avoid the tragic fate of a loser? You need to make a fundamental shift in how you operate. First, you need to start before you feel ready. Because here's the secret. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait until you feel motivated to go to the gym. You go to the gym and then you feel motivated to keep going because you're getting great results. Because you love the process. Because you love the pump and the feeling it gives you. It makes you feel hot and confident, strong and powerful. You don't wait until you feel ready to start your business. You start your business, and then you feel ready and confident because the fucking money starts pouring in. Now you no longer have to be a slave of the system. Be a good little obedient employee. Next, you need to chunk your massive goals into tiny daily actions that actually feel achievable. Making $1 million sounds impossible until you chunk it down. That's only $84,000 a year for 12 years, or if you're aggressive, $20,000 a month for 50 months. See how that suddenly feels a lot more real, a lot more achievable? And you can even break it down further. Third, track your small wins and celebrate them to literally rewire your brain. Every time you take action, acknowledge it. Give yourself credit for it. You can't always predict the outcome, but you can do the actions. Your brain needs positive reinforcements to build new patterns. Look, I used to absolutely hate working out. I would drag myself to the gym, I'd feel miserable, and I would almost quit after 2 weeks. Then, I started celebrating the small stuff, showing up, adding 5 pounds to the bar, doing 1 extra rep, and within months, something shifted. I wasn't forcing myself to go to the gym anymore. I was genuinely excited to lift. That's the power of reframing your mindset of positive reinforcement. Next, you want to remove friction from starting. You want to make it easier to do the work rather than to avoid it. If you want to write content, have your laptop open with a blank document ready when you wake up. If you want to work out, first things first in the morning, sleep in your gym clothes, unless they're fucking dirty. Don't go to bed in your dirty, stinky-ass gym clothes, bro, please. The point I'm trying to make here is that the less friction between you and the action you need to take, the more likely you'll actually do it. Plenty of studies have shown this time and again. And finally, build your identity through repetition. You need to become the person who shows up, not the person who plans to show up someday. At the end of the day, your identity is just the sum of your repeated actions. It doesn't matter if you do something once. You do something once, okay, you did a thing, great. But you do it every day for 30 days, you start to become that thing. Let me give you some practical systems you can implement immediately to crush procrastination. Use the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. Go reply to that email you don't want to reply to. Send that DM to potential customers. Make that phone call. Don't think about it. Don't debate it. Don't plan it. Just fucking do it. Schedule deep work blocks like they're non-negotiable meetings with yourself. Because they are. You're building your future when you work hard on your business. You wouldn't skip a meeting with a client or a date with your lover, right? So why are you skipping meetings with your future? Put it in your calendar and treat it like it's sacred. Your $1 million business isn't going to build itself for you. You have to build it. Now you need to stay accountable. Tell someone what you're going to do or work publicly where people can see you. Go to a cafe or co-working space, anything. Because the fear of looking like a fraud in front of other people is a very powerful motivator. Create real consequences for not following through. Like maybe losing $50, you give it to a friend, or damaging your reputation, your self-esteem, whatever actually matters to you. And eliminate decision fatigue by automating your routine as much as possible. Decide once what you're going to do every morning and then just execute the same routine every single day. You don't need to reinvent the wheel daily. You need to build a system and follow it. The boring stuff is what will give you results. I can promise you that. It's not some fancy trend or some fancy new trick. It's always focusing on the boring fundamentals. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Now, let me paint a picture of what happens if you don't change. Now, this is gonna be scary. You'll wake up at 40 years old, 50 years old, wondering where all your time went. You'll watch people with less talent than you pass you by because they were willing to do what you weren't. They were willing to do the boring work that you weren't willing to do. You will live with regrets instead of results. And worst of all, your ambition will turn into bitterness and resentment. You'll become that person who talks about what they could have done, what they should have done. If only things were different. We all know that kind of annoying dude, right? Well, trust me, you don't want to become like him. That is the worst possible fate you could have. But that's also the real cost of staying lazy. It's not just the money you don't make, it's the person you don't become, the things you don't achieve, the dreams you don't realize. So how do you actually start working on your dreams today? Right after this video ends, I want you to pick one thing you've been avoiding and just do it for 10 minutes. That's it. You don't have to do it for hours or all day, just 10 minutes. Because once you start, momentum will take over and it will be easier to keep going. I can promise you that. Stop consuming and start creating, even if it's imperfect, especially if it's terrible. You don't need to study more necessarily. You need to execute more. Commit to showing up for 30 days straight with no excuses, not just when you feel like it, not only when it's convenient, every single day for 30 days. Find someone who's where you want to be and study their habits. I'm not talking about their highlight reels on social media. They're actually daily habits. What do they do when no one's watching? That's what you need to copy. Do they wake up at 4 a.m. and do 4 hours of deep work? You have to accept that discomfort is the price of growth. There's no other way around it. The only way out is through. Right now is actually the perfect time to get started and work on your goals because you're young enough to compound your efforts. And even if you're old, well, start now because soon enough you're gonna run out of time. You won't get your time back, you know? If you start today and you stay consistent for 12 months, I can promise you, your life will be completely unrecognizable. The tools and information you need are completely free. The only thing that's stopping you from getting what you want is the action you take. You can completely change your life in 12 months with consistent action. And that's just not me trying to give you a pep talk. That's just what is going to happen if you actually put in the work. Most people who don't succeed, and I've seen this, I've worked with hundreds of people, they don't succeed because they fucking give up. Being ambitious and disciplined makes you unstoppable in a world full of dreamers who never do anything. And that's exactly who you need to become. Ambitious, but also taking action. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. With that said, I will see you on the other side.